Hey everyone, welcome to the post-game show here at the Tony Goat Romo Show. Week one has just wrapped up for the Dallas Cowboys. Thursday night football, we took on Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and my oh my, was it a thriller? Crazy game, I think. But if you're if you're someone who pay attention to the game, and you love the Cowboys, but you kind of know what to expect. The ending was very thrilling, but it was also very fitting. And I don't want to be too critical because there's a lot of good things to take away from this game. And mainly these post-game reactions, I want it to be kind of honest reactions from the game. And I'll kind of just start off there. First off, you got to give credit to Dak Prescott. He definitely is a player I've been particularly critical of, especially in those clutch moments. You look back at last year, I personally would have loved to see him, make those plays, put us in a position to, win the game at that time, whether it was against the Seattle Seahawks but he also had very great flashes, like against the Atlanta Falcons. He was very consistent. He was very much the reason why we were in that game. It's very great to see his progression as a player. I think maybe 2 seasons ago, and I'm thinking about when Jason Garrett went 8-8 that last time. There's a couple of times where we didn't quite get the ball in at the end, and we didn't kick the field goal, or we didn't get the touchdown that we needed. But tonight's game, I really want to give a huge kudos, and I'll kind of break down my thoughts about the offense tonight. But I'll give my kudos to Dak Prescott. He was single-handedly the main reason why we were in this game and why it was competitive. And if any Cowboy fan doubts the reason why we paid him this amount of much money, this is the game that you want to show him to prove that, hey, whatever you think about Dak Prescott, what he did in year 2, 3, or whatever it may be, right now this is what we paid him to be. And I think tonight he definitely lived to that paycheck that we gave him this summer. He played fantastic. He had the one interception, but while I'm talking about that, I would want to invite you guys to follow me on Twitter at Tony Goat Romo, because I tweet a lot during these games, and I tweet real-time reactions during these games. And during that time, I said, if you think that's Dak's fault on that interception, you're very much wrong, because that's a tight situation, that's a tight ball, but he was able to fit it in for a very catchable ball, and CD just dropped it. So that interception wasn't on him. I'm looking at the stats here. It looks like he threw 58 times tonight. You never want your quarterback to throw it 58 times. Now, I get it. Obviously, that probably wasn't in the game plan. They probably weren't sitting in the media room thinking, okay, we're going to come out here and throw it 58 times. Even though we know we don't have Zach Martin. But at this point, you do anything that you can to win. And and at that point, I understand that. It's like, okay, this is working for us. This is obviously our most effective thing that we can do right now, because at this moment, we need to do something. And I totally get that. Of course, I don't like seeing 42 out of 58 times, but it's what kept us competitive. That poor shoulder, if that was a thing, I hope it's not re-aggravated. My God, I don't want to see that happen again. But we were very competitive, and I definitely want to look at this offense. And I can't wait to see Zach Martin back in the mix of it, because here's the thing that we have to understand, and this is something that when Mike McCarthy was hired, his press conference, people asked him about Zeke. They said, hey, what's his involvement? What's his involvement going to be? Is it going to be a main focus? And he was like, yeah, it's going to be a main focus. Evidently, it's not. And, last year, it was like, okay, he's not running the ball because he doesn't have Tyron Smith and Lyle Collins. This year, he has Tyrone Smith, sorry, and I think I probably mispronounced it right there, Tyrone Smith and Lyle Collins, but he doesn't have Zach Martin. There should be some attempt to run the ball. I understand that the D-line for Tampa Bay is very ferocious, but there had to be some attempt. And I'm thinking mid-game, I'm like, okay, maybe stretch it out, maybe do some toss, maybe do some stretch, maybe do some option. And in the second half, they started to do that, and I noticed it kind of opened up a little bit for them. But you got to get creative in that point. And I'm not an offensive coordinator in the National Football League, so I'm not too sure what you do from there. But that was just my thinking behind it. I kind of wish that they tried to get back into that, but obviously I understand why we were at that point at the end of the game due to Dak Prescott. That's my thoughts on the offense. I was frustrated with that fact that we weren't incorporating Zeke, and I don't think it's fair enough to say, okay, well Zeke's he's not the same player. It really wasn't a good sample size tonight because we didn't even give him opportunity. And I think with the opportunity, the carries that he had 11 for 33 yards, averaging 3 yards there. 11 carries, I thought he had some hard runs in there. You look at those plays, and tomorrow you and I will, we'll sit down and watch the highlights, and we'll kind of break it through and see my reactions to that. But this is kind of my honest take here. Cooper going 13 for 139, had a heck of a game on the road. That's what you love to see. And I'm taking a look at the stat sheet here, so this is why I'm looking down. CeeDee Lamb 7 for 104. Michael Gallup had that injury in the first half. Hope he's okay so he can bounce back. But let's talk about the defense. The offense put themselves in a position to win the game, despite what you think, despite the penalties, and hey, if we got 1 first down and 2 first downs, we wouldn't have to worry about that defense. Point is, and I love how Greg DeLay kicked that field goal in. I think that was I hope that's a metaphor for the season, where it's like we can come back and we can still be clutch and we can still do what we need to do when the time is there. But at the end of the day, we did our job. Dak Prescott put ourselves in a position to win, and we hit the field goal. The defense, I'm excited to see. This is something to build upon. You could just totally see at the end of it, they were completely gassed. There was no pressure on Brady towards those final plays. I'm excited to see what they do. And I really hope that this isn't the final product of that defense. I hope we develop somehow. Maybe it's adding someone through free agency or a trade. I didn't see a lot of Jalen Smith on there, so maybe he could be someone that you could put on the trading block. I didn't see a lot of Leighton Vander Esch, so that's someone that you can put on the trading block. But our secondaries got torched tonight. Brady was able to have his way when he wanted to. And I hope that we can make an acquisition here. I know it's one game in, but I'm not trusting this bunch to get the work done. We need to play better a lot earlier on and not depending on them, in that final drive, because I'm not going to trust someone like that if they're against that. Either way, though, exciting game. My prediction was the Buccaneers were going to win 31-21. I was 8 points off, 31-29. But we go to LA next Sunday, and we'll have a pregame for that one. But exciting game. Like to see Dak Prescott back and running. He played phenomenal tonight. Our defense needs a lot of work if we want to be a playoff team. We should win a lot of the next few games. We should win a lot here coming up in the schedule. But we'll see. The one thing that the Cowboys lack more than anything is consistency. And so I know a lot of people are looking at this game and say, oh, well, we were 2 points away from beating the Super Bowl champs, so that makes us a playoff team. No. Being a playoff team and being competitive requires you to be consistent week in and week out. And that's something that we haven't done for the last 10 years. So it's going to be interesting what we're going to do with Mike McCarthy and how we're going to respond to this loss. We'll talk more about that, but I'll see you guys tomorrow. Go Cowboys. Be sure to like and subscribe, and feel free to follow me on Twitter. I will always be posting about the Dallas Cowboys. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you soon.